I'm Temperance Tinker Kays. I teach English 4 and IB literature, and I teach at West Anchorage High School in Anchorage, Alaska, and I am a Milken educator. When I heard my name, my first thing was disbelief. My second thing was all of the other teachers in this building who, I think deserve this more, or at least are deserving of recognition on this level. Thirdly, my student told me, "I told you so," and I thought that was pretty funny because I still was in disbelief. So yeah, I think I'm still surprised and in shock. And in that moment, I was surprised, in shock, and not believing that my name was getting called. The first thing a student told me was, "I told you so." But yes, I think that I'm still in shock. I think that's real. And also the roller coaster of my year, I wouldn't have ever felt that this was going to happen this year, because I've just had such a hard year. For this beautiful, amazing thing to be happening is a huge surprise, and just part of the ups and downs that I'm like, whoa, at the top of this roller coaster going, oh my goodness. I did not expect this at all. My teaching background is I tried not to be a teacher. My mom's a teacher, and so I did everything else first. I built log cabins and was working on the refuge system. I tried to just study anthropology, and I just kept on coming back to teaching. At one point I was coaching ice skating, teaching old people aerobics in the morning, and I was tutoring with reading, struggling readers. So for me, I was at some point quite aware that I should probably just lean in and decide to be a teacher. And I haven't really looked back since that. I think I was walking on a beach in New Zealand, and I was I really want to pursue English literature. I love reading. It's how I've explored the world. I grew up for 18 years in small town Alaska, Soldotna, Alaska, 99669. It's very, very small and very much, what a small town is. And I used books to kind of travel the world. And then I saw that I wanted to keep doing that. So yeah, I ended up doing my Master's of Teaching at UAA, which is here in Anchorage. And then I taught in Boston for a couple years and moved back to Alaska and my home. I think education is the way that you, in a way, you are actively challenged on a daily basis to show up for yourself and others in a way where I don't know of any other profession in which it's this daily grind of being challenged and challenging yourself. And I like the challenge, but what I love is the giving back part. So the standards we set, or the intentions we make, or the discussions we have in a classroom that I hold students accountable to having, I get to see then the repercussions of those, where they're having those little side discussions with each other, and then they graduate, and then they're having those discussions with the community. One thing I did was over Zoom, I brought back students from kind of all over the country and had them tell seniors in high school, what is it like out there? Were you able to achieve these dreams? And there was a kid from the Air Force, and a kid working in DC, and a kid who was dropped out of college, and a kid in art school, and they all had all of these different experiences, but they all valued learning, and they all valued that kind of realization that your actions and the things that you say and do have long-term consequences. And so that's one of those real world connections where I get to see them in the world, and they're my former students who, I got to see them having frustrating conversations around, racism, and then go and act on it. And so it's challenging every day, but it's also rewarding to see how powerful their actions are, right? Because they're going into the world and being representations of West High and also representations of of the work that we did together. And so I get to see that and feel it, and it's awesome.